Good evening and welcome to Savage Universe. This is a show where we get to hang out. We get to talk about all of the cool things that are going on in all of the different licensee corners in the Savage Universe. And I'm here tonight with Chris of Doghouse Rules. We're going to be talking about Occult City. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I wish my partners could be here, Carl and David, but it's just me tonight.
Just you, but you know what? That's fine. You guys just unlocked a new stretch goal. You have a campaign that's ending on Thursday afternoon, and I already have a person booked for Thursday night. So yes, John Doom, I was like, what could be better than one Savage Universe show? Two Savage Universe shows in the same week. So tell us about, in case people just have been under a rock and don't know, what Doghouse Rules is, can you just give us an overview of what your involvement is with the Ace license and Savage Worlds? Tell us about Sidewinder as well.
Sure. So Doghouse Rules is a small independent role-playing game publishing company, and started a little more than 20 years ago by a good friend Jeff Spakes. About 6 years ago-ish, 5 or 6, Carl Kiesler and I became the sole partners, and we've been publishing role-playing game products for quite some time, and been a Savage Worlds licensee since around 2009, I think, and have been publishing various titles. One of most famous might be Carl's Trailer Park Shark Attack. If you've been at a convention, you might have gotten a chance to play one of those games. And Carl was just at Genghis Khan. He ran a couple of new adventures of that. Shark of the Living Dead. He ran a couple of sessions of that at Genghis Khan. We're also Sidewinder Recoiled, a traditional Western. That was the first DHR product 20 some years ago. And 2 years ago, during our 20th anniversary, we redid it for Savage Worlds. So there's now a Sidewinder Recoiled for Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
And we had a successful Kickstarter for that, and that's been available for about a year now, released in 2025. So we do a lot of other stuff as well. Trailer Park Shark Attack, Sidewinder are big things, but we do other adventures for both Weird West and traditional Westerns, and we're on DriveThruRPG, so you can go there and check out all our products. We have a number of free products too, so if you'd like to see what we do first, go ahead and try something free.
Well, and we're going to show off one of those. You have a jump start for Occult City. Occult City is the Kickstarter you have going on right now. It's funded. It's unlocked stretch goals. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Can you give us the overview? It's right up my alley. I love horror and superheroes kind of coming together in a terrifying way. So,
yeah, well, that's the elevator pitch is a pulp superhero tabletop role-playing game powered by Savage Worlds. And so what we're doing is we're taking the Savage Worlds core rules, the Superpowers companion rules, and the horror companion rules, and leveraging all of those to build this setting where it is superhero, but it's more like a street level superhero with heavy horror elements in it and pulp action. So that's why we call it that. And it's the brainchild of both Carl and David Anderson, our writer for Occult City. It's actually, I find, an interesting story. I wasn't there at the very beginning. Carl was, of course, but he creates a lot of convention games, con games. He's really good at that. If you're nodding, so you've been
there. I got to play in.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say I got to play in this great mashup between the Golden Girls and Whistler from the Blade movies, and we fought Baba Yaga's redneck cousin. My big regret is that I was not feeling well enough to make it to the Gamehold Con game he had, where it was the Three Amigos and Blazing Saddles mashup, and that's one of my big regrets.
Yeah, that's not so fun. That's actually available now. That's one of our products. You can buy that adventure and play it. That was pretty fun. Carl and I both went to Gamehole in 2024 when we were doing Sidewinder Recoiled, and And that mashup that you just mentioned, yeah, that's one of the
Carl's in the chat right now.
Oh, is he? There he is. He said he would be at the airport around now waiting for his flight. So thanks, Carl. Funny. So Occult City, Carl was designing a one-shot game, thinking of con games and stuff like that. And he's a big superhero comic book fan. And so is David Anderson, a friend of ours who we work with sometimes and play games with a lot. And it started with Carl's one shot, and then it evolved into two separate campaigns. Carl ran one and David ran one. And I got to play in David's game when he was running the first one. That was quite fun. And those two campaigns actually showed how flexible what we're trying to do is, because David leans more into the horror, Carl leans more into the pulp action. And you can make Occult City what you want, within the framework that we provide. So we give David has developed a great setting with spelled out districts in the city and factions, and a plot point campaign. And I was just reading that comment. Sorry. It really can be made your own. You play the plot point campaign which has Savage Tales in it, but you can add your own Savage Tales to it, or small encounters, or whatever you want. There's even a generator in there, if you will, Savage Tale creation tables that David put together.
Awesome.
Something that I wanted to talk a little bit about, so maybe I'll just take a minute to do that.
Please do.
Yeah, so the plot point campaign in the core book comes with 7 core Savage Tales that are part of it, and then some other things that you can play around it or make up your own. But it also comes with this creation table system, which is pretty cool. Basically, you draw a poker hand, and you follow the tables for the suits and the values of the cards that you draw to put together a very quick encounter or short adventure Savage Tale. So the first card is the theme and the sub-theme. The second card is the villainous faction. The third card is a strange encounter that happens during the tale. The fourth card is the location, the key location. So one of the districts that I was talking about tells you where that is. And then the fifth card is a nightmarish twist. And the nightmare is important because the nightmare is sort of the basis of the setting. In 1899 in the city, an event called the Nightmare erupted and basically swallowed up the city. And then it receded, and then you have I agree with Carl right there.
Yeah.
And then you're playing 30 years later in what is now Occult City, highly affected by the Nightmare. You're playing a hero who's a vigilante who was somehow affected by the Nightmare, and you're going to pick one of 3 arcane backgrounds: a masked vigilante, which would use the superpowers companion rules. You build a level 1 15-point power limit 5 character.
Okay.
Or the second one is the monster, so you would choose one of the monstrous heroes in the horror companion. We can show a couple of those. They're in our Jumpstart, the free Jumpstart.
I've got a link to that right now. I'm going to put that in the
chat
right now.
So like Mr. Stitch is one of our iconic vigilante characters, and he's a patchwork man. And Lycanthra, who's a werewolf. Now, Lycanthra isn't in the Jumpstart, but she is one of the base. You'll see art of her in the Kickstarter as well. Awesome. And then the third one is magic. And for that one, you choose one of the arcane backgrounds from the horror companion, and you add some abilities that we've defined in Occult City. So Black Hat is one of the characters examples of that. He's a priest, so he's a priest from the horror companion with some additional abilities we made to sort of balance out. We're not looking for exact balance here, but to make each of those 3 relatively similar in power and ability.
Right, close enough for jazz.
Right.
Just
yeah.
Well, let's take a look at some of the art we've got. I mean, I assume Carl was involved in putting these all together. And
right. So we hired an artist, Ani Ghosh, to do a small set of illustrations for us, and then Carl does the graphic design. Yeah. So the illustration on the cover there is Ani Ghosh's illustration, and I know he's done some work for Pinnacle and Star Anvil Studios, and so we commissioned some work already. And essentially, as we say in the Kickstarter, the Kickstarter is to raise the rest of the funds we need to buy the art to finalize this the way we envision it. And so I'm happy to say we've reached the goal and we'll be able to do that. So the core book will be as we envision it, and then we have a lot of other rewards that come with it, including character cards, pre-printed or PDF character cards, front and back.
Let's take a look at those real quick.
Yeah, please do.
They look great.
Yeah, so this is Carl's, layout. We work together on this on the stats and check each other and think about it, and but it's Carl's graphic design and trade dress here.
I like the way he did the fatigue, and the wounds on the side.
Yeah,
really calling it out.
I agree. I love that, and purple's my favorite color. So
well, there you go.
I think Carl did that just to make me happy. So front and back. So you were looking at the front with the illustration, a quote, some backstory, and the core stats. And then on the back, more stuff. So, these are vigilantes. So some of them are in disguise, when they're out in public. And then, this gives you the real name and their description. And then, hindrances, edges, special abilities, powers. Each card may be slightly different name because, again, if you're a mass vigilante, you're basically a superhero from the superhero companion, and maybe it's really superpowers, not powers, but the cards are all designed the same way like that. It's as I said, I got to play in David's campaign when we were testing some of these early ideas out and writing stuff, and it was a blast. I played a mass vigilante, and it was fun to play in that horror realm where my character really didn't know anything about magic or the occult. He's just a bruiser, the garbage man. David gives me a hard time when I talk about him, but I like the character. And it was fun playing in that horror where, he was truly horrified because he didn't know what was going on,
Right. It gives me like vibes on of like the Shadow, the Phantom, right? Some of those real early
excellent guesses.
Where the mystery men are just now becoming they're having some powers that set them beyond just mortal men, but they're not Doc Savage. We're not talking Superman yet. We're talking just who knows what evil lurks in the minds of men.
Yeah, the Shadow. So you're absolutely right about that. We list some inspiration, and definitely in the comic category, you got the Shadow, BPRD, Hellboy.
Oh yeah,
Gotham by Gaslight, John Constantine, Hellblazer.
The Hellblazer,
Rocketeer. So just naming a few there.
Just an underrated comic book and comic book movie, The Rocketeer. That movie's fantastic. I'm like 4 trades away, I think, from having the complete Hellboy run. But they're all ones that are like way out of print now, and so I'm just happy with where they're at. Hellblazer is next on my list to, like, I've read the first couple of trades, and now I'm going to sit down and just do now that DC has them all in one app, it's just nice to be able to just read the whole original run.
Cool. Yeah. I'm a comic book fan, but I'm nowhere near the level of David and Carl. So, like I said, that's why this idea was created by them with influences like the ones we're talking about.
I'm definitely gonna Carl, when we're at Chupa. If you're at Chupa this year, if not at Gamehole Con, we got to talk comic books. That's not something we've ever discussed before. Make that happen. Well, if you're at all interested, we had the link up to the Kickstarter, but you can see Occult City now. And in fact, we're going to see a little Occult City now because there is a jumpstart and it is available on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm going to put the link up there, and we're just going to take a quick spin through it and show it off.
By the way, did we mention it's free?
That's right. It is free.
Yeah. So you can see the cover there. Again, Carl's work with our artist. The artist Ani, he's been great. We were really happy with the small set of illustrations that we commissioned. This being one of them, and you see a couple of the characters there too.
Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Mr. Stitch at the top, Grizel, and the Black Hat. 3 of the 6 iconic vigilantes that we're focusing on at first.
Right, and the Black Hat was one of the ones we got to see.
Yeah, the Black Hat was the card we looked at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So what's in this? We've got our introduction. You've got an intro adventure, and then just kind of everything you need to run that.
Yes, exactly. You can pick this up, and with the 4 iconic vigilantes we have at the end, you can play The Screams of Emily Wicklow, which is the first episode of the Plot Point campaign.
Oh, very cool.
So you could play that, before you ever have to buy anything and see how you like it. And, we would hope you would go to the Kickstarter and help us do as much as we can possibly do. Because, again, the budget and the goal of the Kickstarter was to buy the art that we planned to buy. But this will show you some of that art, as you see with the cover, and then if you just scroll through, you'll see some other stuff in there, including some maps. So that's Grizel right there. That's Blue Eagle, who obviously heavily inspired by the Rocketeer.
Oh, I love it.
And then we talk about a couple of setting rules there that you're showing now: pulp action movement and following the leads. We have about 6 or 7 custom setting rules, in addition to others that we borrow from Savage Worlds and the companions. But those 2 are ones we invented, and they're important for this adventure. So we talk about them a little bit in this jumpstart, and then some of the setting and tone. Yeah, that's what that part is, and then the adventure. So
and we got our adventure, and I don't want to scroll too much through the.
I wouldn't linger too long there.
Yeah.
People.
Let me see if I can't jump to the.
You can jump to the end when you can see the cards.
That's my.
But there's 3 scenes, and actually, if you stop on a map, it wouldn't hurt to show one of the cards.
All right, let's see here. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, the clock tower. That's one of Carl's maps, and as you mentioned earlier, we just surpassed the 3rd stretch goal, which is 12 more maps. So. So Carl will be making some more of these tile maps that you can actually, fit together as well, the way he's designed them. So pretty cool.
And even his VTT map, or let's take a look at some of the art here. Even his VTT maps are gorgeous.
I agree. And so these maps will be in both versions. You'll get them in a PDF that are printable. You get the VTT version. So, pretty nice.
All right, there's the Screaming Chamber.
Yeah, the second of the 2 maps that are in there. It's a good one. The enemies, you show the headlines, but don't show the details.
Yeah, I don't want to show off.
So this is the same card that we showed you that you saw. I would just scroll through a little bit quickly so you can see some of the other characters. So there's 4. There's Mr. Stitch. There's the Black Hat. Mr. Stitch, Password Man. Grizel, who is basically a wizard. And then
Blue Eagle.
Yeah. So those are the 4 that we feature here. Lycanthra, as we mentioned, is also fully developed with an illustration. Werewolf, from the Monstrous Heroes and Horror Companion. And then, why am I forgetting the last one? Oh, yeah, Professor Primate is the 6th iconic character.
Awesome. Well, we suckered John Doom in already.
Okay. Oh, good
John Doom has backed. Cartoon Villains is saying superheroes not usually their jam, but the game looks great. Yeah.
Well, thank you all. Appreciate it.
And hey, Shane's in the chat. Welcome, Shane.
Hey, Shane. Thanks for backing us, man.
Well, this is fantastic, and you've unlocked 3 stretch goals so far. Like you said, we've got more Carl maps.
More Carl maps, 5 more iconic vigilantes. So we had already planned for 15 in a pack that you could buy printed or get the PDF of. So 5 more that we'll design and illustrate. And 5 one-sheets. So they could be a variety of things, but maybe more information about one of the districts or a particular location with a map or a new villain, that sort of thing. Each one sheet would be, focused on something, maybe a short encounter. So yeah, those are all met. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Let me put this, the Kickstarter link back up. Any final thoughts that you want to share on this? Any updates on what may be coming up next on the the stretch goals?
Yeah, so the next stretch goal is actually another Savage Tale, and as I said, the core book will already have several, but we'll do yet another one that could be played as a standalone or connected into a plot point campaign if you wanted to. So that's the next stretch goal. And then actually the final stretch goal is something that we really wanted to do, but it's complicated and expensive, and that would be to produce a short comic book.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Would be part of the core book. So like a 2 to 4 page comic featuring the iconic vigilante characters that we've been talking about in a short adventure. So, we were really inspired by what Ani was drawing for us, Ani Ghosh, when we, commissioned the first set, and started thinking, oh, that would be so cool if we could do that. But, that's some extra work. So that's why that's the top stretch goal.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to make it, but we'll see.
We got to make sure that you get to that, because my first role-playing book that I ever owned was Palladium's Heroes Unlimited, and there was a comic strip in it. And I thought that was the coolest thing, because it kind of helped explain everything. Like the TMNT RPG had the same thing. And so I'm a big fan of superhero, RPGs having comics in them. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like a natural thing, but again, it's not an easy thing to do. So
no, it really isn't.
So that's why we set that stretch goal.
Brandon at Star Anvil says he just backed it. His wife wants him to run it for her, and in fact, Star Anvil Studios is who I have on Thursday, coming on to talk about their next crowdfunder as well.
Yeah, Brandon's great. I think he played in Carl's game at the con, if I'm not misremembering.
Yep, nope, that's where he got to play it this weekend.
Yeah. So there was something else I was about to mention, and it just flew right out of my head. What was it? Funny. You said something that reminded me, and then gone.
Heroes Unlimited, comic books.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask one last question.
Yeah, feel free.
Anything you want to discuss on what else is in the pipeline?
In the pipeline, like for DHR after?
Yeah, for DHR after Occult City.
Yeah, well, so we may do some more Occult City stuff, like more adventures or whatever. That depends on how well things go. But, since the Kickstarter is going well, that's a likelihood. I would think we would do some more. Yeah. But one thing I've talked to Carl about, and since he is listening, we'll see how he reacts. I would love to do a 10th anniversary something for Trailer Park Shark Attack. That would be in 2028 would be our 10th anniversary. So all right. I've been talking to him about that and thinking about what we might do. So similar to what we did with Sidewinder, where we had a 20th anniversary and then, converted to Savage Worlds and, printed books and cards and all that kind of stuff. We have a lot of that for Trailer Park already, but when we first released it, it was PDF only, a zip file. It's still how you buy it with a bunch of stuff in it, Yeah, I was thinking, maybe we could make a printed book and go have a 10th anniversary version that would expand on what we've already done. So
that would be awesome.
So Carl's putting up emojis.
Carl
he knows I don't speak emojis. So.
Well, we got Shark Death and Rock Hand. So I think that's a tentative yes.
Yeah, he kind of pushed back on me a little bit. No, nobody cares about Trailer Park Shark Attack anymore. I'm like, what are you, crazy, man? People love that game. It's brilliant. I just recently ran. We have a tumbling tower version as well that you can run Trailer Park Shark Attack with, and I just ran that for family and friends, and that was a ton of fun.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I like the idea of expanding TPSA even further, and Carl also has Shark of the Living Dead, which he played at Genghis Khan. I think that will also become another supplement for Trailer Park.
Carl, people want more sharks, and it's not just Chris. The Johns want it as well. Both John Do and myself.
Yeah, Sharks Times 10. I like that.
Sharks Times 10.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun game. You can play it more than once. Different ways.
Yeah.
Different adventures, different kinds of sharks. A lot of fun. And actually, one of the David Anderson, who is our writer for Occult City. He created our critical death rule that we use in Trailer Park Shark Attack, where, you know, 2 ones isn't just a critical failure. It's you die, and you get to describe how it happened. Does the shark eat you? Was it an accident? Did you shoot yourself in the head? What happened?
What was your brutally gruesome body horror death that happened in this moment? That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's proven to be a lot of fun at tables that I've been at. People like to describe death by shark.
So what happens if Jody plays in the game and she dies in the very first
roll?
Well,
that's the beauty of Trailer Park Shark Attack. When you die, you pick up another card to play a new character. So there's somebody else floating in the floodwaters, and now you're in the game. So Jody could do it like 6-7 times probably.
Awesome. I think she would be very happy with it. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on and chatting about this. Carl, David, if you end up watching this, congrats. This looks fantastic. Go check out Occult City. It is only on Kickstarter till Thursday afternoon, Thursday mid-morning.
Thursday around noon, I think.
Yeah. So go check it out. We need that comic in the book. So we need to signal boost, share this around, and
Thanks.
My pleasure. And we will be back. There will be Thursday night Savage Universe at our regularly scheduled day. I think we're going live much later at like 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have Star Animal Studios' Brandon on. We're going to be talking about Savage Worlds Phase World, which I'm very excited about as well.
Yeah, sounds cool.
So until next time, go out and play some Savage Worlds, and may all your dice ace. Have a good one, everybody.